Hello everyone.
Hello.
Hi. Welcome back. So I was asking before, how was meditating this past week? I know last week we visited the basic breath awareness meditation, and the idea was to try to set it and forget it for 5 minutes daily, hopefully. So if anyone has any feedback and or questions with the experience of giving it a try on your own, it's a really great way for us to just talk it out together. So we'll go around and you can introduce yourself if you'd like to say your name and any feedback. We'll start with you.
I'm Sarah. It went much better this week. I downloaded a meditation timer app.
You did?
Yes.
Good.
So instead, I usually meditate on the train. So instead of going between Freeport and Rockville Center, I just did 7 minutes instead. It was better.
Fantastic. What about you?
Do you want us to give us your name and all that stuff?
You could do whatever you like.
Okay. I don't know if it was just the week I had at work or in general. I was very distracted, so I had a very difficult time doing the meditation practice. At home, it was very, very hectic. I live with 2 boys. My roommates are my brother and his friend. And my brother is he's fine. He goes to school and goes to work and sleeps. That's basically all he does. But his friend, our other roommate, apparently decided he was going to relive his frat days. And so he had company every single night. So that was my home place wasn't really ideal for meditating. So I decided I would do it at the office, on my lunch breaks. And we have a walk coming up on Sunday. So my boss and my coworker are very respectful, okay, try to be quiet while she's doing this, and very encouraging about the training, but, stuff has to be done for the walk, so, boxes are being moved, and the phone's constantly ringing, and that wasn't a very optimal place for me.
So it wasn't very easy for you to find the best environment for your practice? No. Okay. Well, I will say that the technique and being able to find time to meditate will become almost like brushing your teeth eventually. When you do set aside a disciplined practice for yourself, it will be easier. And then the time factor, really, it's not so much about how long you're doing it, it's about coming to a seat. So just setting aside some time, But it will happen. You'll learn how to make the space, and you'll also learn how to meditate and find the ability to sit still and find time to meditate successfully, even with the other things in life going on around you. And that's comforting to know, but it does take time to build up to that.
I figured as much. It was just I guess I was frustrated.
Yeah.
With the experience. Bless you.
Bless you.
So by the end of today's office shift, they left early, so I just sat at my desk and the phones didn't ring, and I just kind of breathed quietly there.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't go into full meditation or anything, but to be able to do my work and breathe and just do that was enough for me.
Good. Thank you for sharing. Hi.
Hi.
How was your meditation this week?
It was okay. Now that I'm focusing more on it, sometimes I wonder, this week, sometimes I would wonder if I was, I can quiet my mind, but it almost feels like I'm not letting anything in rather than letting go. Almost as if I was I'm breathing, but it's almost like my mind is just holding its breath. It puts up a wall so no thoughts come in rather than letting thoughts come in and then go out. So I just didn't know. It felt clear inside, but it felt kind of opaque rather than clear. So I don't know what I was just it was something that came up.
Well, that's an interesting evaluation, where from some schools of thought, it's quieting the mind. So really not allowing the mind chatter to fluctuate. And then the shamatha, or the more Buddhist style of meditation, is about just allowing the mind to do its thing. And if you're being open to letting things come and go and recognizing whatever happens, if what you're recognizing is that there aren't any thoughts, maybe it's not necessarily a shield. That might just be your way of meditating. So each person and individual's practice will be different. Sometimes you'll feel that you cannot stop any thoughts coming and going. They continue. And sometimes you have more space. So my suggestion to you is just allow it to be what it is. So instead of trying to evaluate it while it's happening, just let the meditation be a process. Just watch. So you could watch the stillness of your mind, but be content in that, without labeling, without worrying if it's right or wrong, just that's what it is. Yeah. Breath awareness, you were aware of your breath, your mind was one with your breath. I couldn't have asked for more. Okay. Hi.
Hi. It's going okay. I still have the same distraction that I've had since I started, especially with breath awareness. As soon as I think about breathing, I don't automatically swallow, so I get saliva building up in my mouth.
It's like going to the dentist. It's hard. Don't swallow.
So I'm trying to figure that out, but it's every time it's like, oh, just think about the breath, and then all of a sudden my mouth does that thing.
So swallow.
So right.
I say
so
swallow.
It's like, oh, breathe in, breathe out, swallow. You
Yeah.
know. So
There's your point of focus here.
yeah, there's a lot to think about.
That's interesting.
So-
Swallow. Don't
Yeah.
fight it. You don't want things to build up because then it becomes discomfort and a distraction as well. So if
Yeah.
when you bring your mind back to focus and swallowing is something that resets you, brings you back to home base, go for it.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Okay.
Eventually it'll be a lot less about the physical and that won't even be a part of that practice. Hi.
Hi. I haven't really done a lot of meditating this week. I've been extremely distracted with homework. And because of that, I haven't really settled down to do that. It's just doing homework and going to bed.
Okay. Thanks for sharing. Next.
I've really sat and meditated, but I have been visited in doing Shavasana and when I was young, I was involved in 2 fairly serious automobile accidents. And I keep getting this question of why. Why? Why am I still here?
Contemplation, that's a really good form of practice. But we're also we're practicing meditation, which is the acceptance of everything that is arising. So instead of the question why, it's more of just acceptance of where you are, who you are, and the fact that you are here. So it's finding comfort with that it was meant to be. A little trust in the universe that this was meant to be. But your meditation will continue to bring up what needs to come to surface so that you can come to terms and accept it the way it is. So I think that that's a beautiful window of opportunity through your meditation practice. And Shavasana is a suitable place. Hi.
Hi. I'm doing okay with it. My challenge is quieting my body, slowing my body more than my mind. Like my body is working against me. Like 3 minutes in or however, I don't know how many minutes, it starts to like break down. And it's like, oh God, you need to move. You need to, like your neck is kinky or this or something. So I'm having like a fight with my own body. And I don't know if it's because I haven't found a comfortable seat, or if it's just my mind playing tricks on me.
That's a good question. I think that you
I
could
don't know.
also try a different seat. You could take the
Can you meditate in
Virasana.
Savasana?
Sorry?
Can I meditate?
You can if you think you won't
But I
fall
don't know,
asleep,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
A guided nidra is a little different because you are lying in Shavasana and guided yoga nidra,
Right.
but you have your mind set on the verbal cues of the meditator or the person who's leading the meditation. So upright position is definitely the best to do, and your practice will be on every time you feel the need to shift, move, or that becomes your distraction,
Right.
you just say, let go, or come back to whatever your focus is. Breathe in, breathe out.
Right.
The mantra repetition. Eventually, you're just going to continue to set it aside, just like a thought that comes up. It's a physical distraction, but the physical is turning into a thought, right?
Right.
And that's when you just need to recognize, let it go, and come back to your breath. If that doesn't work and it's repeatedly coming up for you, maybe you do need a shift. So a simple adjustment of your seat. Very mindful, without losing connection to whatever your meditation practice is. So if it's a repetition of the mantra, just because you move doesn't mean you don't repeat your mantra anymore. Another way to shift into change is maybe to put your feet down in front of you with a bend in your knees, grab a hold of your knees, lengthen your spine, but still watching the breath, repeating your mantra. And then eventually you would come back to your seat again, but without breaking your focus. The physical body is the very first thing that you have to overcome in the meditation process. It's very, very common. Hi.
Hi. So I have not been meditating like for say like sitting up in a chair, but like if I lay down at night, TV's not on, it's quiet, I'll just sit there for a little while until, you know, something distracts me. But like I'll just try to turn, like I'll find a lot of times now I'm just like the TV's just off and I'm just like sitting on the couch. I'll put the phone down for a little while and I just sit.
Good. That's fantastic.
That's, you know, like I can't quiet my mind. It's just not there. And plus like being all stuffy this week, like just does not help trying to like sit there and breathe.
Yeah. Well, you know, meditation, it's hard work. It's not always the friendliest situation. You know, the benefits are fantastic, but the process and the practice itself, it is difficult. It's difficult to watch the mind fluctuate when you're trying to.
Especially like with all the reading that we're doing and stuff like that's like repeating in my mind and the homework.
That's okay if you're applying it to your practice.
No,
some-
but it's just
if it's coming up and it's in a distraction, then you just gently say to yourself, oh, there it is again. Let it go. Bring your mind back to focus point. Every time. It's not about how many times your mind wanders off or your body part takes you away from the focus. It's how many times you recognize that that's happening so that you can place your mind back to the point of focus. Okay. So today's practice is going to be a mantra repetition of so, hum. So everybody say so, hum. Which translates to I am that. So hum means I am that. And this is our way of recognizing that we are interconnected in every way. All living beings and anything that is living in this earth is connected. So when you repeat the mantra of so hum, you are acknowledging your connection to all living things. You are that. So we will come to our comfortable seat the same way we did last week. Find balance within the weight and the shift in your sits bones. If you're crossing your legs, stack one foot in front of the other and start to soften through the hips and the thighs. Bring your hands to rest on the tops of your thighs. Or if you'd like, you could take your dominant hand on top of your other hand. The fingertips are touching. The thumbs are connected. So just allowing that to hover over your lap will help you. If you do tend to just doze off, your hands will fall in the lap and maybe waken you up. And find a nice upright seat, little softness in your shoulders, a lift in the chest. The crown of your head is rising. On your next exhale, let your eyes close. Bring the awareness to the crown of your head. As you breathe in, feel the breath entering, walking its way down the length of your spine to your sits bones or your tailbone. And as you exhale, allow that breath to travel up the length of your spine and again out through the crown of your head. Breathing in, breathing out. When you feel you have a smooth rhythm and heightened sense of awareness of the breath flowing up and down the length of your body, you can begin to repeat the mantra, so, hum. As your inhale comes in, you repeat so, I am. Upon the exhale, you say hum, that. Remind yourself to treat your thoughts kindly. Accept them when they arrive. Acknowledge them, place them to the side, and come back to your mantra and the flow of your breath as it enters so, as it exits hum. Begin to let the mantra subside. Just feel that soft rhythm of your breath coming and going. And then bring your awareness to the base of your seat. And as you breathe in, I want you to allow the breath to travel up from the base of your seat to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, allow the breath to come back down and through, reaching to the base of your spine. Inhale up and through. Exhale down to your base. As you breathe in, repeat quietly to yourself, hum. As you exhale, repeat sa. Hum. Sa. All that is me. We'll spend a brief moment here working on the mantra, hum, sa. On your next inhale, turn your palms down. And then begin to just let your hands go up and down the length of your thighs. Deepen your breath. And then you can start to flutter your eyes open slowly to bring the room back into focus. And feel free to extend and lengthen your legs out, bringing some sensation back. And take your hands on your knees, just roll a little warmth and massage in your kneecaps. Good. Any feedback?
Can't breathe.
Any feedback that applies to our meditation practice?
So it makes
Can't
it
breathe is
hard. It
can't
makes
breathe
it
is a
hard.
very significant part. So my recommendation to you is, if you really can't breathe through your nose, you should breathe, open your
Yeah,
mouth
but
a
it's
little
so
bit.
like I don't know. I guess from like all the years of doing like yoga and like
It's
the
interest-
pranayama breathing and stuff like that. Like I'm so used to being like a nice slow breath through my nose and exhale.
And so this is
It's it's definitely harder.
harder. Yeah, being sick is no fun.
Do you have a neti pot?
I do, but I'm scared to use them right now. We'll go into that afterwards.
Okay. Anyone else? How did that mantra resonate with you?
Great.
So hum.
It was great. I think that seemed to me like half the time as last week. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
It gave me something to like hold on to. It really kept me. It really kept. My body didn't yell at me. Like I felt grounded and.
Well, last week
Good.
was so basic that it was just breath awareness. There was nothing for you to repeat to
So
yourself.
nothing.
It was just watching an inhale and an exhale, which is, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a little bit easier to concentrate
Gives you something to focus
Yeah.
your mind on and keep coming back to.